الآن يمكنكم المشاركة في مبادرة الأيام الرقمية تحت شعار انطلق بقوة مع جوجل، والتي يتناول فيها خبراء جوجل عناوين جديدة أسبوعيا مثل السحابيات، مهارات من جوجل، أندرويد، فلتر، ذكاء الآلة، فايربيس، ديزاين ثينكينج، مقسمة إلى دورات وورشات عمل يومية بالإضافة إلى مسابقات أسبوعية. شاهد الأيام الرقمية مباشرة على اليوتيوب وشارك رأيك وأسئلتك مع خبراء جوجل، واحصل على شهادة حضور في كل محاضرة تشترك فيها. هذا وأكثر من الأحد إلى الخميس ابتداء من الساعة 9 بتوقيت دبي عبر الرابط المبين youtube.com/gdgmena.
So, hello and welcome everyone. I am Imen Masmoudi, the GDSC lead of MENADD, and I'm from Tunisia. Today I will be talking to you about organizational leadership. So let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever received an email that changed your life? Right. So you can write yes if you have. Sure. Yeah, hello from Tunisia. So on the 22nd of June, I received this email, and this email altered my reality. So that was the first email. That's the second one, the decisive one. So I made it through the selections to become a Google Developer Student Club lead for my university, and I was the founder. So at that point, I realized that I had so much work to do. That was actually overwhelming a little. So I had to form a team, and I was in the position of leadership. And at that point, I realized that I had a mission, a goal to reach, and a clear vision. And I started forming my team, and I just needed the strategy to make it. So on my road to leadership, I acquired a few qualities that I really thought were very important. First one would be creating shared meaning, then the emotional intelligence, the integrity that creates trust, and of course, adaptive capacity. So let me ask you, what are the qualities that a leader should acquire in your point of view? Mustafa, hey, man. Qualities. One quality can be the sense of integrity, intuition, empathy. Yeah, that's lovely. Very nice qualities. Good communicator, surely. So in this presentation, we'll be having an introduction to the importance of leadership. Then we'll be moving to the organizational leadership. What is organizational leadership and what are the qualities that leaders should have? And we're gonna be having appetizers. And then we'll be moving to the 10 leadership styles. And I'll be giving you a few hints, so stay tuned. what's the importance of leadership? Warren Bennett said in the opening of his book, Unbecoming a Leader, one person can live on a desert island without leadership. Two people, if they are totally compatible, could probably get along and even progress. But if there are three or more, someone has to take the lead. People tend to disagree and they usually does not share the same vision. That's why leadership is inevitable. So we need to admit that in our world, we cannot function without leaders, and that our quality of life depends on the quality of our leaders. So organizational leadership is a management approach in which leaders help set strategic goals for the organization while motivating individuals within the group to successfully carry out assignments in service to those goals. Foundations of leadership. So mankind is unpredictable, and our social world is not susceptible to specific rules, unlike our physical world or the science of chemistry. That is why the study of leadership is not as exact as them. To an extent, leadership is like beauty. It's hard to define, but you know it when you see it. In that context, Break, a French painter, said, "The only thing that matters in leadership, the only thing that matters in leadership, the only thing that matters in art can't be explained, just like leadership. Yet we try to define leadership, because just like arts, it can be demonstrated. So to an extent, leadership is like beauty. It's hard to define, but you know it when you see it. The only thing that matters in art can't be explained. So leaders, they have a vision, and they can persuade others to make that vision their own. And that's when we speak about creating shared meaning. Leaders are influential. They plant seeds that grow over time, and they roast them on time to keep them growing. Leaders like Adolf Hitler and Mahatma Gandhi, they created history. They marked history, and they were followed by so many people because they created a bigger meaning to following them. Next up, we'd be talking about emotional intelligence. So leaders, they understand the feelings of others and of their own, and they can persuade others to give them comfort around them. Emotional intelligence is, as defined by Silvoy and Mayer, a type of social intelligence that involves the ability to monitor one's own and others' emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and actions. Third, we'd be talking about integrity, because integrity is that one component that creates trust. Having integrity means that you live in accordance to your deepest values. You're honest with everyone, and you always keep your word. Always keep your word. There's this saying by Lei Tzu that says, "Water is fluid, soft, and yielding, but water will wear away rocks, which is rigid and cannot yield." As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft, and yielding will overcome whatever is rigid and hard. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong. Here we talk about adaptive capacity. It is the key competence of leadership, because leaders, they assess the results of their actions, they correct their course, and quickly act again. Adaptive capacity will give the leaders the ability to reinvent themselves over and over. And surely, when we talk about leadership, we talk about communication, because leaders, they speak the language of others. There are 5 components in the communication model. First one would be we need a sender and a receiver. We need a medium between them, so we need to decide if we're gonna speak face-to-face or through a phone call or through email. And there's gonna be the contextual factors, like the body language and the timing, the environment. You need to choose the good timing and do the good body language to transfer your message. So that brings us to the fourth one, which is the message. We need a message because we're gonna be communicating. And last part would be a very important part, which is feedback. It can be positive feedback. So if the receiver got the message correctly, and if they didn't, so it can be negative too. So it's very important to know the feedback. So no matter how cruel the teasing, they become more optimistic and more open to experience, said by Warren Bennis. That brings us to contagious optimism. In the time of COVID-19, we need to be contagious in so many ways, not just COVID, but optimism. Optimism is a mental attitude characterized by hope and confidence in success and positive future. Optimism is just like enthusiasm, it is contagious, and it's very important when you're working with people. Now we have never give up. So most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying where there seemed to be no hope at all, said by Dale Carnegie. Leaders does never give up. That's a very important factor. As a conclusion, we see that leaders' qualities are a mashup between the emotional intelligence, the integrity, creating shared meaning, the influence, communication skills, adaptive capacity, contagious optimism, and never giving up. Now to the appetizers. So first appetizer would be know yourself. These two appetizers were concluded by Warren Bennis in his book On Becoming a Leader. He said that a leader knows their strengths and weaknesses and works his way up to improve them. They are aware of their mistakes as well as their positions, and they do deal with them directly. A leader should be honest with himself. A good way to get to know yourself better is through codifying your thoughts. So it helps to speak or write your thoughts. Writing is the most profound way of codifying your thoughts, the best way of learning from yourself, who you are, and what you believe. To become a leader, then, you must become yourself, become the maker of your own life. No one can teach you how to become yourself and to express yourself except for you. So you're your own best teacher. These are 4 lessons that were concluded by Warren Bennis in his book for self-knowledge. First lesson would be, you are your own best teacher. Second one would be, assume your responsibility for your mistakes and blame no one. Then you have limitless capacity for learning, so don't limit yourself. And reflecting on your experience gives you true understanding. When we say reflecting on your experience, it is a sequence of preliminary questions that you ask yourself, like, what really happened? Why did it happen? What did it mean to me? That is how we get knowledge of things that we knew but have forgotten. Once you understand what is going inside of you, you will know what to do. Leaders begin then by backing themselves, inspiring themselves, trusting themselves, and ultimately inspiring others by being trustworthy. Second appetizer, know the word. There are 3 ways to get to know the word better. First one, fill in the gaps. So feeding your creativity starts with you getting lost in time doing something that makes you feel your roots being revived. He incited leaders to find the pleasure in learning every single day. It's almost like someone who found a very, very good book and got lost in reading that book. So that's how you fill in the gaps. The broadening experience. Traveling is a kind of learning. So traveling can teach you a lot about the world. And friends and mentors. We do need friends and mentors who can see things in us that we did not knew were there. If you want to read more about these appetizers, you can find everything in details in Warren Bennett's books on becoming a leader. So, the 10 leadership styles. So, there are 10 leadership styles: the situational, the laissez-faire, the democratic, the transformal, the transactional, the charismatic, the cross-cultural, the servant, the autocratic, and the bureaucratic. Will be present in 5. So starting with laissez-faire, let it be. In this type of leadership, the leader is very open-minded. They leave decisions to the team members. They let them work on their own pace, and they motivate them a lot. They are trusting and communicative. These leaders are needed when your team is composed of experts and developers, so the leader just manages the big picture. The democratic, also known as participative. In this type of leadership, the team does work collaboratively. The tasks can be delegated. Decisions are taken collectively. This is participative leadership, where the team is empowered and cultivated by the leader. This is the best way to discover the talents of the team members. Here, the team leader is supportive, accountable, and actively engaged. We need this type of leaders when we have a team of very skilled people. Then the autocratic, who has complete power. In this type of leadership, we find that leader is the one and only that makes the decisions. Everything goes through them, and they are the ones in charge. They can take feedback though. Yet they will decide according to their personal direction. These leaders are confident, decisive, and disciplined. We do need this type of leadership in societies where discipline is needed. And then the transformal leadership. This style of leaders wants to transform the existing ideas, procedures, and culture of the team members to improve the organization, seeking better ways to get the work done, aiming for challenging the old ways to improve the efficiency of the performance and the performance. They simply push you outside your limits and give you challenges to work on. These leaders do believe in the lean management and the innovation of it. They are motivating and empathetic. These leaders are needed in organizations where innovation is needed. The transactional leadership. This type of leadership is almost the exact opposite of transformal leadership. They provide order, strict hierarchy, and structure. Everything is well defined. He always makes sure that every team member plays their role effectively and correctly. This type of leaders is very focused and efficient. They are needed where complex organizations are needed, and if your company needs a leader who will run military-like system, let's say. So one of the most important features of leadership is personality and identity. For that, we see that there exists types of leaderships who are equally needed in our society. As a conclusion, organizational leadership is the ability to lead a group of individuals towards fulfilling an organization's mission. It encompasses the following skills: understanding an organization's mission, creating a strategic plan in line with that mission, implementing goals, and holding teams accountable for accomplishing those goals within an established timeline and in alignment with the strategic plan. Foreseeing possible challenges in the road ahead, innovating to meet those challenges, pivoting effectively as circumstances change, and remaining calm amidst uncertainty, communicating effectively, inspiring groups of individuals to do their best and work toward a unified purpose, addressing the concerns of internal stakeholders in the community at large, doing all the above with an eye on inclusivity, integrity, and authenticity. Leaders are heroes. So these are a few legendary books that I really advise everyone here to read. The first one would be On Becoming a Leader by Warren Bennis. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a bestseller, by the way. Of course, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Really important book. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. Surely the Art of War by Sun Tzu, because this book is listed on the 100 books that are the most important for the humanity. And it teaches you how to be strategic. It's very important. And lastly, Agile Handbook by Emerson Tamer. So let me ask you, do you have any questions? Can I get this presentation? Yeah, sure thing. Just contact me, okay? You can find me on Facebook. Question: is it enough to have only one leader for any number of people? If not, when would be the threshold to start thinking in more leaders to the group? Okay, when we talk about number of people and how many leaders do we need for this number of people, let's say we need them all to be leaders, because leaders can work together. And we don't need just one leader, because leadership is all about becoming a better human being, a more responsible human being, and we all need to be that. Assalamu alaikum, Azadeen. Leadership is a must. Are there any other questions? We still have about 5 minutes, I guess. Or has horizontal here, she. Awesome answer, thanks. Yeah, thank you, Stu. It's all about being horizontal. Leadership is all about being horizontal. Can I get this presentation? Okay, so I'll give you my contact. Yeah, you can contact me through Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, but I don't use it a lot, or email, of course. What can you do to motivate a team? That's a very good question, Nabil. But first, you need to be motivated yourself. That would be the first step, in my experience. And then just make them feel like create shared meaning, let's say. If it means something to them and they see you motivated, they will be motivated with you. Yeah. When can you call yourself a leader? Hi, Ulk. Okay, so leaders are not perfect human beings who does not make mistakes. Leadership is just a long road that never ends. You just never get there and just stop. You will always keep on moving. So leadership is a long road. You want to call yourself leader? Yeah, why not? Call yourself leader. Just work on your leadership skills and you're gonna become better every day. That's the point. How the leader should be. How the leader should be. I didn't really get your question. A leader should be so many things, I guess. Should be forgiving and empathetic and loving. I believe in love a lot. Should be patient and should be assertive at the same time. It's very hard. It's a very hard combination. How can I develop my emotional intelligence? That's a lovely question. First, start by doing research. And of course, try to get the emotions more. Understand people's emotions and their desires. It's like Lucifer. What do you desire most in life? Once you know what they desire, you just can get them more and maybe manipulate them more. That's kind of bad, but don't do it in a bad way, please. Thank you. If you can make an impact, whether positive or negative, in history, you're kind of a leader, I guess. Oh, I think that's the answer for how the leader should be. So if you can make an impact. Yeah. Who is your favorite leader and why? That's a very lovely question. Who's my favorite leader? I have few favorite leaders, I guess. I like Barack Obama a lot, though I don't know him so much. I love my father's leadership skills. He's a good leader. And of course, we have very lovely exemplaries, Aya and Asma. They're very nice examples to follow. And hello. Thank you. This is very helpful. Thank you, Navi. I'd love to thank you, everyone, for your questions. I hope I gave you something today. You're all lovely and thank you. Nice to meet you, everyone. And I think let's conclude our session today. So good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. Will a definitional leader change in the future? I don't think so. In my point of view, leadership is more like a feeling. So I don't know if feelings are constant Leadership is weird. It's a very, very vast concept. Yet we try to define it. Yeah. Change. So, well done. Thank you, everyone. How do you keep yourself motivated? You just believe in what you do and be motivated. If you do what you love, motivation will come on its own. Just find something you love and get lost in it. And consider a leader, let's say in 100 years. I wonder. So, time's up. We finished our 30 minutes. We're actually 1 minute past. So, thank you, everyone, and good night. Hope to see you in another session.